Deepa, you're welcome. Where are you joining us from? You say you have a male perspective you want to bring into
Auntie,
the discourse.
Auntie B, thanks for having me. I'm calling from DC, the
From
Maryland,
where?
DC, Washington, DC.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, thank you. So I'm going to be very, because a lot of you guys are going to, you're going to disagree with my point of view, but I'm going to be very respectful and all that. So I think the reason why a lot of a lot of women have, the topic was about scarcity of husbands, right?
No. The scarcity is the scarcity of eligible
Eligible men,
men.
eligible
Yeah.
men, right? So
Yeah. Anybody, any man can be a husband, but we are talking about
right, of
eligible
eligible
ones.
men, right,
Yeah.
right. So I think the perspective is um a lot of women do not know what men want. And I think, because men's needs have not changed. It's always been the same for hundreds of thousands of years. They want a woman who is feminine. And I noticed that, for example, I had a friend that he was dating this woman, and his perspective, his thing was okay. He didn't want the woman to. He was concerned about the woman gaining weight because at the weight she was, he said. So he told her, I said, "Baby, let's hit the gym." The woman was, "Look, if you don't like me for the way I am, just leave me alone. Is a guy that's going to like me the way I am." So our friends who knew the guy, who also knew the woman, were like, "Dude, why did you tell her that?" So a lot of time, guys do not want to tell women the truth because of they get pushback. So that's
Was
why
she like that when they met?
she was like that when they met.
Okay, now he's trying to say to her,
Yeah.
to push
So
towards a more healthier lifestyle.
yeah, because so she wasn't like she was fat. She was thick. She was the kind of person that most guys like. But the thing is, most men, when they look at a woman who is thick, when they're looking at her for long term for marriage, they're looking at her like once she gives birth, she's going to get big. A lot of
Right.
times, men are not going to tell you that, right? They will talk about amongst men. So when they're like, "Oh, look, baby, let's hit the gym," because they want to get her to a manageable weight, so when she gives birth, when
Yeah.
she gets big, it won't be outrageous, out of control. But she thinks
Yeah.
just because she's getting the attention she's getting because of she looks plumb and ripe at that moment,
Hey,
that's what it is.
those
So
words though, plum and ripe.
I'm
Is
I'm
she a
sorry, I'm
fruit?
sorry. I just gotta be.
Those kind
That's
of description, it makes me uncomfortable.
okay.
You're
I
not sounding like you're
apologize.
talking about a human being. Seems like you're talking about fruits.
I apologize. When I say plum and ripe, I mean as far as they look perfect the way they are. But when when they have kids, it's
Somebody
natural
say
for you to gain.
plum and ripe. Is she plantain?
You know what I mean now. You know what I mean. So
Okay.
my thing is, I think is a lot of times women just do not know what men want, and the thing is,
But
I also blame. Sorry.
sorry, Diko, let me address this one first.
Okay.
Right? Because you made a point about how a friend of yours met someone who was plum and ripe and now they want to move them. And we did talk about how when you meet people
Mm-hmm.
trying to change them, he saw that how she was weight wise.
Mm-hmm.
If he's the type that likes a very slim person, why did he go for a woman that's thick? And now he's trying to change her. Okay? Because for
Mm-hmm.
some women, that might not sit well with them because they're like, this is how I am. Why do you want to change me? If you didn't like me how I am, why did you come for me? And again, let me add, it's not about you trying to change the person, it's about how you go about it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you meet someone, you are dating, you like each other,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe you try to get her to be healthier, which all of us should be getting healthier, by the way. So I agree with your friend, but does she want to do that? Is this her goals? Or he wants to shape her to the kind of woman that he wants. You see why a woman like that will be resistant to that kind of change because this is not what she wants. And don't forget that she's an individual, even though I understand what you're saying and I agree with you. Men's needs, it
So Auntie
hasn't
B,
changed. They like what they like.
so
But is this what she wants? She wants. Or
Auntie
she
B.
just, no, I'm saying this because I will allow you to talk. Sorry.
Okay, sorry,
I just
sorry.
want to make the point that
Okay.
love me for who I am, not what you perceive that I will become or what you want me to become to fit the kind of woman that you want. This is a woman's thinking. Do you see what I'm saying? And that is why a woman will be like, she'll fight it and say, why do you want, I wasn't going to the gym when we met. Why do you want me to go to the gym now? You want me to lose weight? Then go look for someone who is, who is slimmer than me. This is who I am. And they can actually like who they are like that without wanting to lose weight. It's okay. Do you see what I mean? Hello,
Yes,
Diko.
yes, I'm here. I'm with you.
Do you see
Just
what I
I didn't
mean?
want
She
to
can
cut you off.
actually like herself. She doesn't want to work out. She doesn't want to lose weight, and that's
So
okay.
but Auntie B, so this is the thing, right? So I get what you're saying, but sometimes a lot of women would ask, like it was one in the UK that was saying that why isn't she getting hit on? So and part of what I just told you now, you were resistant, you pushed back, you said maybe that's what she wanted, right? So a
No,
lot
I
of
wasn't
men,
resistant. I'm trying to explain
yeah,
it.
you were being an advocate for her, saying that what
No,
if
no,
that's
no,
what
no,
she
no.
wanted?
No, I'm not being an advocate. I don't know her. I don't need to advocate for someone I don't know. I'm just trying to, I'm looking into her mind because I'm a
Right,
woman.
right, right. So
And
my
it's about changing somebody from who they are fundamentally to the image that you want them to conform with.
right. So at the end of the day, right? My knowledge of this is um if you have to know how men think. It,
Okay.
it's 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 okay if men are women's consumers, as in they ask, "Will you marry me?" Right? And you're saying that okay, why? What about her needs? Which is true. It's fine. She's legitimate to think that okay, she doesn't want to gain. She can gain weight if she wants, but if she gains weight that she wants, she should not get upset if no man approaches her or the pool of men that approach her are very slim.
And you're
Right?
just assuming that men don't like women who are big, right?
No, I'm telling you from if a man walks up to a woman and says, "Look, I like you, I really like you, but this is what I'm kind of battling. I really need you to get beyond the normal weight so that when you give
What's
birth."
normal weight?
No, I'm giving you an example. I'm saying
Mm.
I get beyond the normal weight. So if you give birth and you get bigger, it's not going to be outrageous because at the end of the day, men are very physical, right? And she's pushing back like, if you don't like me for who I am, this is what it is.
Yes.
And that's and
Yeah.
that's and that's perfectly fine. But the thing is,
Right.
don't get upset with the consequences because for every action there are consequences. You cannot say accept me for who I am and when it comes down to push and shove, oh, why are men approaching me? You chose that life. He came to you. A lot of times, she always complained that men did not they did not complain about her weight, but none of these men wanted to take her seriously. So you actually find a guy that wanted to take you seriously and is telling you these are what my concerns are.
You do understand that there are men who are very big, thick waist,
Yeah, I get it, but
and they date as well.
I get it, but I will also say this. I will also say this. If men are your consumers, because at the end of the day, men are the ones asking, "Will you marry me?"
I have
If
a
I
problem with your language, my brother.
okay,
Don't take it personal, but men are your consumers. In what way now?
no,
I
because
see you shaking your head that you want to say something. Say it.
men are the ones asking, "Will you marry
Men
me?"
are your consumers, as
Men,
women are your consumers. If you want to go colloquial and use language like that, that men are your consumers as women. Yeah, then
what does
women
that
are your
mean?
consumers as well.
What
yes,
Except you are gay.
yes, and I agree. But if who asks, "Will you marry me?" Is it the woman who asks the man, or the man who asks the woman?
Well,
the
it
wait,
thing is, the thing
depends.
is, if you want a man, you have to. If you want a eligible man, right? I'm not talking about the bums. I'm talking about the guys because I also noticed, right? Because I'm a divorce attorney. If you want an eligible man, right, the man that
Mm.
makes money, that does certain things at a certain level, he has certain standards. But the thing is, you cannot choose to stay where you are and then say, "Oh, these are the kind of men I want." A
Am
lot of
I
times,
not
men
left
will
to be
not tell you the
saying?
things I'm telling you. They will just stay quiet and
No.
play along. They will
Okay,
not
Big
say
Ben.
anything because
Oh,
of
so
pushback.
sorry, Diko. I want us to have a conversation. Sorry, I'm not
Okay.
wait.
trying to be rude. I'm taking on board what you're saying, and
Okay.
I hear you loud. But you made one example about physical appearance. Blessing
Mhm.
is saying it's not about weight. One man's meat is another man's poison.
Yeah.
Big Ben, you wanted to say something to address what that boy is saying, or
So
Diko? Sorry.
I just want to clarify. I just want to clarify his point because he said, "And man has needs," and that's true. But my own question is, what are these needs? Because I think for every relationship, for every marriage, the fundamentals of your marriage, it cannot be something very weight is important.
Superficial.
Yes,
Superficial.
superficial. Weight is important. Of course, everybody want to be healthy. I want to be healthy. I mean, I try to live a healthy lifestyle, but I don't think a fruitful and a flourishing relationship can be based on something superficial. Weight. I mean, weight. People's weight fluctuates all the time. I can lose weight today, tomorrow I will gain it back.
So
what if something happened to that your physical appearance? I think for every relationship to succeed, I'm not trying to disapprove your point, Dikbo, but I'm just trying to, what the way I see it, that for every relationship to succeed, there has to be something more, more original, more organic, more,
More authentic.
more authentic than just, I want you to
Such
live
as core values. What's
I
important
get
to
exactly
you?
what you're saying. So
that
I use
relationship.
I use that as an analogy. I get exactly what you're saying, but what
Okay.
I'm also saying is, if you want, you have to know what men want, how men think. Men are
But you are
physical,
putting men in a bracket, like every man wants
but
the same
majority of
woman.
men are physical. They
Yes.
go by appearance. That's
Yeah,
how
but
they.
it doesn't mean that the person has to be slim.
No, that was just an analogy. That was one. It's
Okay,
kind of
so
like, sorry,
sorry,
go ahead.
Debo, you were saying that men's needs haven't changed. Tell us a little bit about
What
what
are
you
the
think
needs?
men
So
need.
Exactly.
so
Yeah,
so
tell us.
men's needs are, they want feminine women. They want women. So it was one that Ify, because I was following the program at first. Ify
Okay.
mentioned that she's very assertive. She knows what she wants. She does this. She does that, right?
Mhm.
And those are good qualities at work, right? When at home, those are not good qualities, because what
Okay.
happens is you and the man are going to clash. Given the fact, if you are going with a masculine man,
Right.
assertiveness is a masculine trait,
Right.
right? And being too assertive, and it was a woman, I think it was Elena or Enna or something like that, who mentioned that being too assertive is
Yeah.
not good,
It's a
because
turn off. Yeah. She
it's a
said
turn
it's
off.
a turn off.
And,
Yeah.
and a lot of the women on stage pounced on her and said, "There's nothing wrong with being too assertive." There is a lot of things wrong with, because I see a lot of these cases that come into my office all the time. There's a lot of
Right.
things being wrong with being too assertive. If you have masculine traits and you
Mhm.
marry a masculine man, you are
Right.
going to clash. Two alphas cannot live in a house.
I agree.
One has to come down for the other. Now, it's either the man leads or the woman leads, or someone has to lead,
Yeah.
right? One
And
has
I
to
don't have
come
any
down for the
problem
other.
with that,
Yeah.
Deepo. To be honest, as a Christian woman myself and an assertive woman who is very opinionated, I don't have any problem with that. Okay.
Mm.
And I do agree with you that assertiveness, there's nothing like being too assertive. First of all, I disagree
There's
on
nothing
that.
like that. I think it's
But
really
I also
you're mixing
respect the
with men.
hierarchy in marriage.
Yeah,
That
you can put it
even
that
the
way.
boss in
Yeah.
my office, I'm a manager in my office. When I get home, I understand my role as the wife, that my
Yes.
husband is the head of the family. I have no problem dropping my managerial cap on the door and bowing to my husband's authority, not authority, let me say leadership in
Leadership.
marriage,
Yes,
because he's the man,
but
he's the
Auntie B,
husband.
a lot of women do not understand what you just said, right? You remember I said, if you are assertive at work, it's perfect. But the thing is, you can't bring that energy home. A lot of cases that I see in the practice is they don't know how to turn it off, right? Because this society, the West, kind of promotes women empowerment and all these things. So especially when a woman sees, okay, she's more educated or she makes more money. First of all, I tell men, I say, look, do not marry a woman that makes more money than you.
You
It's
tell
going
men that.
I tell men that because I've seen it. I've seen it. Within the average divorce rate is between 5 to 6
Hold on a minute,
years.
please
Mhm.
hold on. I'm
Yes.
sorry again, I have to interrupt you.
Yes.
You say you are a divorce attorney and
Yes.
you tell men do not marry a woman that makes more money than you. Can
Absolutely.
I ask why?
Because at the end of the day, right, it's going to be hard for her to submit or to respect him. She's going to look at him. At first, right, she's going to she might play along, but it's at the end of the day, she's going to pull rank on him. He's going to say, "Oh, baby, could you do this? Look, I'm too tired. I don't have time." She's going to treat him in a dismissive way. I see
And
these
if she
cases all
says
the
she
time.
cannot do something I ask her to do, does that mean that
No. That's just
she's
an
not
analogy,
respectful?
Auntie B. That's an analogy. That's just one instance. I'm talking about her
I
her
want you to give me
attitude.
an example of
Her
how
attitude.
you
If
think
if
that
if
when
you
a woman makes more money, that she will not respect her husband. Give me a good example that you've seen.
when she makes more money, she tends to be very disagreeable. Disagreeable means men want cooperation, right? She tends to be very disagreeable. She's not going to listen. She's going to do whatever she wants. She's not going to take to her husband's leadership. She's going to do her own thing because she doesn't feel he's, and it's not like she's doing it on purpose. It's just the fact that she's better than him financially, so she's not going to respect him.
So is everything about relationship all about the finances, in your
No,
opinion?
there is a hierarchy. If you think, let me ask you this: if you're at work, right, and you feel you are better than your husband, I'm sorry, your boss, right? You're not going to respect your boss. You may just do whatever he tells you to, but if you feel that you're better than him, like I should have done that promotion, I'm better than this guy, you're not going to submit to your boss's leadership, right? This is
I'm
same.
lost. I'm completely lost now, Dipo. To be honest, I'm
Mhm.
lost. I'm lost with your analysis. To be honest, I'm lost. I'm lost. Bimpe, do you have something to say
So
to that?
Can I say something real quick? I think, he's bringing a very great point, and we know women that are very.
But he's also making a lot of generalized statements.
Exactly. There are so many generalized statements, and also you don't have to have money more than your husband to not submit to your
To
husband.
disrespect him. Have
Disrespect
you
him.
seen broke men being disrespected,
Yes.
disrespected
You
by
have to have
their
money.
women that are even broker than them?
No,
Have you seen
no.
if a broke man, a Yoruba woman will sit down and wash you down from head to toe, Lori Buruku,
Yes.
call you all the names. It's
Yes,
not
you
got
don't
nothing to
have
do
to.
with you
It has
having
to,
more
it
money.
has to do with the person. Like the person. Let's talk about individual now. We are talking about the person. Like, for example, me, I have pet peeves, and one of my pet peeves is somebody that is rude. I don't care whether you have all the whole money in this world. If you are a rude person, I cannot even be friends with you, not talk of marry you. So we have to talk about character. We have to remove character from what the person does. Let's talk about who this person is. And I don't have to have all the whole money in this world. And you said, oh, when you're in your house, you cannot be assertive. I disagree with that. If I'm married
And
now,
being assertive, like you said earlier on,
yes,
doesn't mean that you
you
are rude.
have to
It
be
means
rude.
you have an opinion
You have opinion.
and
Yes.
you want to be
You know
taken
what?
along and not make decisions for. What does assertive then means?
That's
Let's
what
look
it
at it
means.
very critically
You have
because
to
I
be
think we are
rude.
using this word wrongly
Yes,
tonight.
we are mistaken
so let me say it.
about character.
So being assertive is not necessarily a bad thing. Assertiveness means, standing up for your rights, standing up for your interest, and also recognizing the other person's interest. It's a good trait. It's a good trait to have at work. It's also a good trait to have at home. But you got to know how to turn it off, right? You got to know how to turn it down. You got to know how to limit it. Now, I don't know how else I can explain it vividly but the thing is, if you are too assertive, it could get too aggressive, right? If you are too assertive, right, you can't be too assertive with your boss. He's going to look at you as uncooperative. I'm talking about at work, right? It goes the same thing. If you get too assertive with your spouse, your husband, right, he's going to look at you like this. I don't want to deal with this headache again. A lot of times, you guys don't know a man's perspective. Right, I'm telling you something. I'm getting a lot of pushback, which is fine. But I see these things. I see these cases all the time. I'm giving to you from a professional point of view, right? I see these cases that come in, and I
Right.
see the average marriage rates with these cases, right? 5 to 6 years, right? It's not to say that they're not going to get married. Of course, if you look good for the first 2 3 years, you're going to get married. He's going to learn you. You're going to learn him. And then once he wants to start, just like one cases where I'll see they will say, "Oh, I want a husband where we are just best."
Chukwuemeka said, Dick boy, leave these people. They are not really interested in knowing how men think. Chukwuemeka, you've written us off that we are not even listening to what Dick boy is saying, right?
I think if you ask the average guy in your audience right now, he's probably going to agree with everything I see but I see these things a lot, right? And this is what I'm saying. I tell men, "Oh, I'm meeting this woman. She makes more money than me." I'm like, "Hey, dude, don't do it,"
That's
because
of
I see
all the
it.
things you said. That's the one that it breaks my heart that an educated, enlightened man like you would discourage people from marrying women who earn more. Ola,
Yes,
please help me.
earn more than them. Earn
Earn
more
more
than
than
them.
them. Yeah.
Yes.
Ola, please help me.
What's going on, divorce attorney? What's your name? I didn't get your name, I think.
Deepo.
Deepo, my guy. Okay, so I know the moment you altered your second sentence, I know exactly where you're going. I'm also a student of the manosphere. I completely get it. Okay, but these pushbacks you just received in the last few minutes are real life problems for us as men. How do you suggest? Because you're not going to jump from one woman to
And
the
it's
other over and
interesting to
over,
know that some men don't agree with him as well. Egosa is saying a divorce
right?
lawyer having this kind of thinking in 2022, and Egosa is a man, speechless. You are in the wrong career if you are this
So so
misogynistic.
So, Deepo, how do you suggest we move forward? This is our society. We
Mhm.
we want to. You agree we are the leader of this society, correct?
Absolutely.
Auntie B, you agree that the men are the leaders of this society. Everybody else agrees with that.
I don't know if I agree that men are the leaders.
Oh, okay, that's
It depends on
interesting.
the kind of
So
I don't
so
know if
so
I
let's
agree
stop.
with
Let's
that.
stop.
how,
Let's
how
stop
do
right
we
there.
move on? How do we move on?
Yeah, how do we move on with
So
this, Deepo?
this is the thing. I'll say it starts from home, right? Um, I've known people. I've known like my cousin, for example. She makes more money than her husband, right? Nobody else knew. Matter of fact, I didn't even know that. But her upbringing was pretty much, done in a way that, the way she treated her husband, no one knew. she made more money than him. But let's be honest, how many women have that upbringing?
Why is it a problem if I earn more money than my husband? Why?
Because you would not respect him.
That's not
That
true.
is true.
No,
I have
you are completely
No,
wrong.
I
That's not
disagree with you.
true.
That's not true.
You
Who are
don't
the
do
women
that.
you're
You are
meeting?
assuming
I
that
have
I'm
one more
not
question.
respecting because I earn more money. It's not true. He's my
No.
husband. I see him as my head. Finances is not everything. If he
Oh,
loves
wait,
me,
wait.
he respects me. Why would I not respect him?
Sister B, let's go back to what you just said. You said is your husband, you see him as the head.
Yes.
Okay, so let's concede a little bit on the statement I made earlier. So forget leader of society. You agreed that the husband is the head of the household.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay, now considering that deep ball, let me go back to my question. Real that she just agree with what I think you're trying to say. How do we move forward if we're the head of the household, and your wife makes more money than you, right? And you're getting pushback. You as a divorce attorney, how would you handle that? Because it's easy to say don't marry somebody who makes more money, but life happens.
Absolutely.
How would you
Absolutely.
handle that?
I always tell them, I say, look, don't, because the thing is, if there's very few men that are skillful on how to handle this kind of situations, right? So I tell them, if you can't handle it, don't even go into it. Now, Sister B said she said her husband is her head, right? A lot of women do not believe that. A lot of women think
All the women on this
her
panel agrees with that.
well,
Let's deal with this, ladies, and they push
it's
back at
If
contrary.
you
you.
are a Christian woman,
It's
any
con-
woman, because I'm not making the assumption that everybody will go 1,000 or plus people listening to this live stream, and I don't want to make the assumption that we are all women. If you are a Christian woman and you are a good Christian who knows what the Word of God says, the Bible says about marriage, then you will not struggle the leadership of the family with your husband. There is a hierarchy in it, and
Right.
I understand
and
and I
Cynthia,
respect that.
I wish all women had that view, right? They don't. The point of the matter is they don't.
Yeah,
And
but these women on this panel pushed back against you. What do you think the problem was?
what do you mean? What do I think the problem was?
When you delivered your words, right?
Yeah, because they felt I generalized. But the thing is, society is about generalization anyway, right? I'm a realist, right? I understand, a small percentage of society might actually say, well, it's not me, I'm different. But as being a realist, right, 80 to 90% of society, we generalize. We generalize on 80 to 90%.
Are you aware? Sorry to interject, right? Are you aware that self-proclaimed realists tend to be incompetent husbands?
Well, I don't agree.
No, I'm telling you the fact.
That self-proclaimed really, I mean, that's an opinion.
No, it's not an opinion. I'm telling you the fact.
Self-proclaimed realists tend to be incompetent husband. How is that a fact? That's your opinion.
No, that's a
That's
fact.
an opinion. I mean,
No, I'm
But
telling you
it's
that's a
also your
fact.
opinion that women who earn more do not respect their husbands.
no, there's studies on that. There's
Do you
actually
notice you
studies on
didn't
that.
ask me to give you source?
No.
You notice you didn't ask me to give you source?
The studies on that is not they don't respect their husband. It just shows the studies on that says women who earn more have a higher rate of divorcing their husband. I think it's like a 70 some percent. Don't quote me on that, but there is studies on that. The Harvard did a study on that. So that's why I
So
tell
let me ask you this, Zico. If you have a daughter,
Mhm.
would you advise her not to be high achieving so that she can attract a man that will marry her? So she should tone her dreams down, tone her ambition down, and so that she will not be perceived as too assertive and too opinionated, so that she will find a husband. Would you do that?
So I would definitely tell her to go after her dreams, but I will also tell her I would school her that look, these are the repercussions of also doing this. But I will also train her that her husband is ahead. So even though she's very high achieving, when she gets home, she should have it in her head that her husband is ahead. The problem we see today is a lot of women don't know how to turn it off.
So you said the repercussions.
All right.
Yes,
So
You said
there
repercussions.
are repercussions when this is another thing. When you are high achieving, right? When you are a high achieving person, a wife, especially a woman, when you're a high achieving woman, hmm, when you get to a state where you're making multiple six figures, like 150, 200, you want to marry a man that's at least making that or at least more.
No, not really. No,
Most
that's
women
completely
do.
wrong.
They
No,
don't want to marry
that's not
down.
true.
all
No,
right. So what
I
women
disagree
want?
with that.
What
Women are not
women?
looking for somebody that earns a six. If I earn six figure, yeah, if I find someone that earns six figure, good. But if I don't, all I need is a man that loves me, respects me, cares about me. Even if he doesn't earn 6 figures, I don't care.
Most women, man, CB, that may be you, but most women don't want to take care of the man.
So what
They
he's
prefer
talking
the man
about,
to be in the leadership position. They don't want
Because
to
you
take care
earn
of the
more
man.
doesn't mean that you are the one taking care of the
Auntie
man.
B,
He's
Sister
got
B.
a job. He's got his own thing going.
Sister B, what he's talking about is the nature of women called hypergamy. It's not something that women turn on or off. Okay? What women want and the reality of life are two different things. Women can fantasize all they want about what they want. What they have to settle for a lot of times is different from that. They get faced with reality in life, and sometimes even if those few that chase after money, even if they chase after money, life sometimes will happen and they will go broke.
Let me tell you something, Ola. The women that chase after money usually go after married men.
That's another
In
thing.
our
That's another
community,
correlation.
the women that are materialistic and chase after rich men who make more are always going after men who are taking.
So women naturally, I think all women will agree to this, right? That naturally they want, obviously they look up. They want to be able to look up and respect their husband in every
But you
sense.
don't need to respect
Status,
person based on their
money.
salary.
I was about to say
It's
money.
not salary that makes me respect you.
No, wait, no, Auntie B, right? Money, status, but especially at an emotional level. If you're not able to handle emotional conversations and you turn around and you call it women don't want to admit because you can't listen long enough, that's on you. And I think that's what the main topic is about. And I wanted to ask you, right, what do you mean by femininity? What's your own definition of femininity? I'm
Okay, you
asking you,
said what?
Mr. Dipo. I'm
Okay,
asking you, what
what
is
is
your
my
own definition of femininity? How do you understand
the
femininity?
definition of femininity is very broad. It's feminine. You have feminine traits, you have masculine traits. I mean, there's no my definition. It's feminine traits and there's masculine traits, right? Feminine traits is agreeableness. Masculine trait is disagreeableness. That's why you see a lot of people in
But
prison.
that's not
That
Right?
is
correct.
so
Feminine,
inaccurate.
listen.
That's
Feminine
completely
traits,
wrong.
that's facts. That's not wrong. That's facts.
Wait, you said it's broad, but then you say it's fact. I'm
No.
confused.
There is
How is it
feminine
fact that
traits.
a masculine nature is disagreeable, so a man does not agree? You have to be in contention with
A
everything.
man,
No.
a man is
Masculine,
disagreeable.
being disagreeable is a masculine trait.
So women can be disagreeable. It's not
No,
feminine.
I never said that, but it's a masculine trait,
All right,
No,
right?
it's
let's bring
not.
it back into the context
I
of
disagree.
romance and marriage. Let's bring it back into the context of romance and marriage, right? Let me keep it very simple and straightforward for you. Masculine is structure, safety, and security. Feminine is chaotic, beautiful energy. When they come together, they create sexual polarity. You don't get to turn it off and on. It's either you are or you're not. If a woman don't feel safe and secured, she's naturally inclined to protect herself. You call it masculine. You can call it whatever you want. But it's as simple as that when it comes to the context of marriage and romance. When you say a woman just turn on a masculinity and you're supposed to be the
You're
head of the
missing the point,
household,
man. You're missing the point.
correct me now,
I
correct
see what
me.
you're saying. I see what you're saying, and I don't disagree. But
Okay,
you're missing the whole point.
correct me.
The thing is, I understand what you're doing, right? I understand what you're doing, but you're missing the whole point, right? I'm not disagreeing with you on your definition of masculine and femininity, but also there are feminine traits and there are masculine traits. You go
Agreed.
into the dictionary, right, and you see, okay, what is a feminine trait? A feminine trait is agreeableness, is soft, it's tender, it's loving, right? A
Okay,
masculine trait is being hard, being aggressive. These are masculine traits. So
okay,
what
agreed,
you're saying,
agreed.
I don't disagree with, right?
Okay,
But it seems like you're trying to score points. Stop it.
okay,
Hold on,
Just
hold on.
have,
wait.
No, no, no,
Just go
it's
ahead and
okay.
do it. Just go ahead and do
It's
it.
all
Call
right.
me a simp, but let's have the conversation. Call
No,
me a
no, no,
simp,
no, no,
but
no.
let's have the
Sorry. Let me
conversation,
step in.
okay?
Ola,
you're,
let me
Wait.
step in.
you're
Okay,
I've
trying to
got
score
someone.
points, dude.
This is getting interesting. Dipo, thank you so much. I mean, it's good. We are agreeing to disagree to agree, on different levels because, we know differently, we understand different. I've got a woman in the house I want to bring into this conversation. She's a professional woman. She's a high achieving woman. She's an assertive woman. And I want to hear her thoughts about what Dipo and, what our brother Ola has said. Okay? Kitchen connoisseur, please unmute yourself. My sister, I know you've been listening.
I have. Thank you so much, Bree. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what to say. But the reality is, as skewed as Deepa's thinking is,
It's not my thinking, it's men's thinking. You guys
Did you
don't know
say
as
his
what men's
thinking is
thinking is.
huge?
sorry,
It's not my
as
thinking.
skewed. Okay, sorry, as skewed as the assertions you've put forward are, the reality is that thousands of men out there think like that. And I think that brings us to the crux of why we're having this conversation today, particularly around high achieving women. These are the realities we face on a day-to-day basis. Men who are intimidated because we are high earners.
Men are not intimidated
The
because you're high
moment
earners.
you are a high earner, he's immediately intimidated. Thinks, no, she won't listen to me. I won't have my way with her, and so
No, let
on.
me say it in the Nigerian
Let me
language. I can't control her. That's the
so
word.
let me be clear, right?
Exactly.
So
No,
men
let her,
are
Can,
not.
can I
let
can
her
I
land. Give
just
her,
finish?
please.
Okay, sorry, go
Let
ahead,
her
sorry,
land.
go ahead,
Can
Yeah.
I
go ahead.
just finish? Because you have spoken your reality in what you say, in what you see on a day-to-day basis. I will tell you what my reality is as a single, mature woman who is a professional. This is the reality. The moment men hear what I do, I'm telling you, even on a dating website, the moment I say what I do, they immediately unmatch me and immediately remove me, because some will tell me, not my cup of tea, or some will tell me, no, I can't be dealing with you, because automatically they have assumptions that I'll make more money. What they forget is that what I make today may change tomorrow, and what the men may make today may change tomorrow. Because today I could be earning more than you. But if you are ambitious in yourself, tomorrow you could be earning more. So it should never be about the earning potential. It should be, for instance, for me, I don't look for somebody who is earning more than me. I look for ambition. Even if you are earning less than me today, if you're ambitious, in 3-4 years' time, you could overtake me. And then it stops becoming being about the money. It shouldn't be about the money. Don't base it around the money. That is where the thinking is skewed, seriously skewed. The second thing I wanted to respond to is assertiveness. Assertiveness is not a masculine character. Anyone can be assertive. It's not masculine at all. I'm assertive. I'm assertive every day at work, in my daily life, everywhere I go. I'm assertive. And I know that a lot of people look at it as admirably at that, the fact that I'm assertive. And it's not something I'll ever shy away from. You can't turn assertive off. I'll tell you something, Sis B. You know, I've told you about my experiences being in church, particularly in an African church. At one time, the women, they approached me. They said, the reason why you are not married is because you talk big, big English. I'm saying it in their language. They'll tell me that I speak big, big English. And one of them told me when I was going on a date, don't drive that your big, big car. Go on the bus. And I said, I'm not going to do that, because I'm not going to dumb down in order to meet a man. Dumbing down is never the answer, because tomorrow you are going to wake up with a different woman. When I get tired of dumbing down, I'll show you who my real self
Your
is.
real self. Yeah.
Yes. So it is never about trying to switch the other person and reduce the other person. The reason why I said Deepo's thinking is skewed is because everything he's been saying is about making sure the woman dumbs
Is
herself down
subservient
or turns herself down
and
or
under
is
the man.
subservient. No, that's not the way out. No, that's not it. You know, you are not going to, even as you rightly said, even the village girls, you can't get girls like that. They'll pretend until you you bring them abroad, then they'll show you who they are.
And I guess,
So
with
so
everything
so
that people have said,
I
we
like to
now
respond,
understand
right?
why a lot of men go back home to
So
marry.
I like to respond to that, right? So the thing is this, Major, I'm echoing on.
Yeah, echoing. Yeah, put your YouTube off, please.
My YouTube isn't on.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, okay, it's stop echoing. Okay, good. So as far as what the lady who just came on the stage said, right? I understand your point of view. I get it, right? But the thing is, men and women are different. Men don't think like that. I understand you want the world to be certain things, and then there's reality of what the world is, right? So men and women are totally different. And until you realize that men and women are different. Now, I'm not saying that, Atibi, you mentioned earlier, you said your husband is your head, right? I'm not saying that a woman should dumb herself down to be subservient to a man. No, I'm saying in a context of marriage, right? You have an head, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times in this day and age, women do not understand that the man is the head. That is why they have problems in marriages and they end up at the divorce attorney's office. This is when I read these things, I see a lot.
So
So
I agree with you on that. You see where I disagree with you? When you told me, to everybody's hearing here, that when you
Mhm.
see a man who is dating someone who earns more, you advise them not to go ahead or marry that person
Yeah,
because
because
they will never
I
respect
see a
them.
lot of cases a lot. I'm speaking from experience. I understand what you're saying, that, well, it's not going to make a difference, but knowing fully well, right? Knowing fully well what uh, what the real life situation is. The thing is, if she makes more than you, right, and especially the pay gap is a lot. If the pay gap is 10 grand, 20 grand, it's okay. It's not a big deal, right? If the pay gap is she makes 150, you're making 60, don't do it. It's going to end up in
It,
divorce.
it,
It
it
has
kind
a
of make
high
it makes me
likelihood.
sad. It really makes me sad that you just brought down marriage to finances alone.
because
What do you
because
have to
I'm
say?
looking at things from a reality point of view.
Have you not seen broke people too that marry and it doesn't work? They break up not because there's a big pay gap or anything. There are no absolutes in life.
Let me
Can
say
I
something.
can I
Let
just
me
intervene? Can I just say something?
go ahead.
After
The
you, Ola,
the
yeah.
Yeah, the caller said he's a divorce attorney. I'm a criminal barrister, and I do a domestic violence court. And do you know what the cause, particularly in African homes, what the cause of domestic violence is? A lot of the time is when a woman just decides to be assertive. And when a woman decides that she wants to stand up and assert her rights in the home, that's where most of it comes. And I bet you the men who are coming into your office and milling into your office are African men who are
Of course.
insecure.
Negative. It's actually women that come into
They
my
are
office.
African men who are insecure because I
It's
worked
actually
in a
women who
men's
are coming
world.
into my office.
Bio say, I'm looking for a woman that earns more than me. Oh. Bio, where have you been?
Ori bi o wa nbe, ori bi o wa nbe
Bio,
for.
Odeo, Oni, yeah, yeah. Otide.
It's actually women that come into the office.
Yeah, but
Okay.
what it does, the men that you're talking about are definitely African men who are insecure about themselves. Because if you're secure about yourself, you are not going to be worried about money. You are not going to be worried about a woman who knows her rights. Because when you are being assertive, you are just claiming what is yours. They are not
So let me
taking
ask you. Let me
anything
ask you
away
this.
from you.
Let me ask you this. Are you comfortable with earning more than your husband? I know you said you're married, but are you comfortable meeting a man where you're the one paying the mortgage, you're the one taking care of him? Are you
I,
comfortable
I,
with that
I,
situation?
I am very comfortable with earning more than the person that I meet. He will do what he can, and I will do what we can. We
And
will
don't
meet
forget,
each
Dipo, let me
other
tell you
in the
something.
But
middle.
are
Let me
you
add
comfortable
this.
doing
Hold on.
that in the long term,
Let
and
me
you're
tell
going
you
to respect
something.
them?
Let me tell you
Sorry,
something. The
Sister B.
problem.
It's the fact that he expects a different question. I mean,
No,
it's
no, no, no,
different
no. The
answer to
problem.
that I'm looking at. Why is it
No,
that you expected a different answer, even if the
no,
answer
he
is
already
off?
knew the answer I was going to get, Ola. Let me tell you something, Dipo. You don't understand the fact that a man earns less. Okay, you're asking my friend this question, Kitchen Connoisseur, who is a barrister here, and I know her personally because I know she's a big woman, right? And she's one of the kindest person that I know, right? You've forgotten that the fact that the woman earns more and the man is bringing in, like you said, there's a big pay gap. There are other things that a man can do, like childcare. We have children. You are the one taking them to school, bringing them back because I have to work longer hours. That a woman will appreciate. And I'm coming back from my long hours. Maybe I'm doing 15 hours, 12 hours, and you do 6 hours. And you bring the children from school. You make dinner. I come home. You rub my back. You say, honey, how was your day? A woman will love you and eat from your hand if you are like that without thinking whether I'm paying mortgage or not. And it makes me sad that you are just looking at it from purely a financial angle.
Let me share the reality with you, Sister B. And I said it earlier in a different way. The reality right now is that a man who is not 100% secure in himself should not enter marriage with any woman that makes more than him or is of higher status. These are the reasons why. We've seen it over the past 5 minutes right now. It's the reality, okay? I said 100% secure in himself and it's impossible. That's why I said that. Because everyone has a level of insecurity or the other, right? If you're not 100% secured in yourself, don't do it. It's not because she's going to disrespect you. It's because you will attract that disrespect all by your damn self.
I disagree, but go ahead. I agree, but I also disagree.
Yeah,
So what you said,
you
sounds
will.
very good, and I
Let me
agree.
land.
I
Let me
agree with
land.
what you're saying,
Let me
but the
land, brother.
reality is I disagree. But go ahead. Sorry.
You also have a habit of not letting people land.
Go ahead, Ola.
Yeah, so it's very, if you're not 100% secure in yourself, what that means is that you're going to goddamn act like God. It's not going to happen. You got to work on yourself. Life is going to hit you in the face like a storm. Shit is going to happen. You're going to go all the way down from $1 million worth down to one house. It happened to Otedola, even Otedola, it happened to him just less than 2 decades ago. In that moment in time, you will be that guy who will be watching every move. Let me see if she disrespects me. So you're right in many ways,
Because you're
people.
trying to prove a point instead of working together.
Auntie B. So
No, let me finish, right?
Go ahead.
The last thing you said to me was, I'm trying to score a point. Do you
You
think
are.
I scored some points? Let me
No, I
ask you
thought you were
that.
trying to score points.
No, great. But do you think I scored some points, though?
No, you were right in some of your things. In some of the
No,
other
no,
things,
no,
I
no,
just
no, no, no. The
thought you
question
were
is
trying to-
straightforward. You're logical, right? Do you think I scored some points? Be honest. Admit it.
What do you mean? Do I think I scored some points? What relevance is that? What do you mean?
Because that was what you said. It sounds
Yeah,
to me
I
like you had
thought
a
you were
fear.
pandering. You were trying to score points. Yes, you were pandering.
Do you think I
You were not
scored
being
points?
realistic.
I think
don't
you think I
care.
scored
What
points.
difference
I
does it
think
make?
I think you care.
I
I
don't
think you
care,
care.
dude.
If you have to
Go
tell
ahead,
me
go
you
ahead.
don't care, you care, brother. Emotional. Stop the logical bullshit.
What relevance are you saying? What relevance is it if you try and score points? What does that have to do with me? Why do I
Exactly.
care?
Why did you bring it up?
No, because you were pandering.
No, you brought it up. You brought it up.
You were pandering. You were agreeing with what I said, and then you would pander. It's like, dude, stick to one. Make up your mind.
I just made up my mind.
You were pandering. Anyway,
I just made
irrelevant. I'm
this
not going back
talking
and forth
point.
with you.
This
Go ahead.
talking point,
State your
right,
point, man.
is
State your point.
the reason for the topic. This talking point are the reasons for the topic. As men, we're responsible for it within the context of romance and marriage, not at the place of work. If she comes home and she feels the need to put on the hat of masculine, that's on you. Maybe not directly like it's in the court of law. Maybe you should also say, okay, she doesn't respect me anymore. Let me leave. What is wrong with you choosing to leave, brother? You could leave. You know you always have the right and agency to leave a woman who is disrespectful, right?
Okay, did I disagree with that? Because I never disagreed with that. For some reason, it's like we're saying the same thing, but you just want to show that you are on their side.
You're still concerned about me scoring.
What's
Did
their
I disagree
side?
with what you
Their
just said?
side.
You're still concerned about me scoring.
Hello,
Because you are
Auntie B, would I be able to speak?
you are being aggressive
This is
towards
going
me.
for too
Right?
long.
Let's let it go. Diko, you're my brother. I got you.
Aggressive. That's very strong word.
Thank you. Thank
Don't
you
say
so much,
aggressive.
Dipo,
That's
for your contribution. I
wow.
need to Adewale, okay, Big say something there, Adewale talk. Because I don't think we are ever going to agree. I appreciate your contribution, Dipo. Thank you very much.
No,
And
I appreciate it because we need to hear it. We need to hear
we
this
need
is
to hear
happening.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
Yeah.
he said he's a divorce lawyer. I wanted to ask him, I wish he's still here, that the women that are coming to your office to file for divorce, what are the reasons they gave you? Because it's easy. Women can come and file for divorce, but what are these
Everybody
reasons?
is saying he's talking about
What are
what's
the
this
major reasons they are filing
American
for
blogger
divorce?
that everybody keeps called Kevin Samuels. They say that this is
That
the
one
things
is
I used to
that's
take.
passed away.
Yeah, they say this is too much Kevin Samuels.
Yeah,
Everybody
he's
keeps saying
always
that. I don't
saying
know the
these
guy.
things like
Yeah.
this too. So maybe he's one of his followers. You never
Yeah.
know.
Adewale, you wanted to say something. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It's taking longer. Because
Yeah.
that
I mean,
conversation will
like,
on forever.
yeah. I mean,
But I
the
like to see men
conversation.
fight for once here. Let them
Yeah.
fight.
I mean, like, I'm giving Auntie B,
He
giving
lost me
everyone.
when he said that you are taking their side. He said, Allah is taking our side.
Um,
Allah, why are you taking our side? Stand with your men.
Yeah, wait for him. He has a
No,
couple of favorite names will come in soon, but it's okay.
Hello,
Debo is
It's
my
not
Auntie
brother.
about
B.
sides.
Yeah.
It's not about sides. No,
Okay.
I disagree. Okay, go ahead, Adewale.
Yeah, I mean, I've like right from the moment he made like his first 2 sentences, I knew where this movie was going because I've seen it too many times. He's coming from a thought process called red pill. I think Ola knows much about that. I'll go to the main discussion of today. Yeah, his thought process is called red pill, and at first I stumbled on their channel. They have a couple of channels. Like
Who?
Kevin Samuels was like they call them red pill community. Like they're like a
I
group of
see.
men
Not
that have
couple,
this.
thousands.
There are a lot. Yeah, there's so many. There's so many on
See,
YouTube.
I've never heard of them.
There's
Red Pill
there's
Community.
like once you stumble on one of their channels, like YouTube will just start linking you to several of their channels. And Kevin Samuels was kind of like their godfather. So I stumbled on their thought process. I kind of agreed with the idea of them saying that men need to be leaders in their homes. But how they went about is what I disagreed with, because the way they talk about it is they make it seem like women are like they're not human beings, like they're robots you have to fine tune. You know, she has to be agreeable.
You're muted,
I'm
aren't you?
like,
Did you see the language he was using at the beginning that
I know
men are
that
the
language.
consumers?
I know that language very too
He
well.
used some
I've heard
language
it
and I
so
was
many
like, what?
times.
Why are you
I've
talking
heard
about
it so
us like
many
we are
times.
fruit? He
I've
talked
heard it
about
so
a
many
friend
times.
that is
So
posting a girl and she's too fat. He wanted to take her to the
I
gym. I'm
We
I
like,
will
oh my
figure it
and to
God.
out. We
be
will figure it
and
out.
to
It's
be
okay,
believe me,
gentlemen.
like right from the second sentence he made, I was like, man, this guy is red pill, and I knew where this was going to go to. I knew it was going to end the way it ended. So I'm not really surprised, because they think of women as robots that you have to fine tune. Like they say that women have to be agreeable, but I'm like, the average human being is disagreeable. Even like once you give birth to a child, they don't become agreeable at first. It's like it's a human nature, so you can't really fine tune women into something you want them to be. It never works. It never really works. It's either she is what you want her, like you like who she is, or you don't. And the moment she's not what you like, you can leave. You don't have. I don't get this,
Just leave. Just leave, right?
yeah, exactly. I don't get this. Oh, the woman has to be assertive at work, and then when she's coming
We
home,
have their
she has to
students here.
turn it
Oh,
off.
Elena is their student. I could tell because he was really supporting Dipo. So we have their students
Yeah,
here.
there are a
Elena,
few of
well
Like,
them
done.
here.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there are a
Well
There
few
are
of
done,
a
them.
lot of them.
Elena.
Yeah,
There,
she
there are
was
a
the
lot of
one
them.
that
Just
said
like,
that being too assertive is not good. I remember.
yeah, like there was one part that really, really made me. I felt very uncomfortable when he said that. When you asked him that, what if he gave birth to a daughter that had big dreams, and he was like, oh yeah, she can achieve those dreams, but you tell her the consequences. So I was
That
like, are
was
you saying that?
consequences.
It felt
When
like
he
you're
said
saying that. Yeah,
consequences, I
it
was
felt
like,
like
oh
As
you're
my
in
saying that her
God.
dreams are going to be like
So
her dreams are going to
your dreams
be.
need to be capped because there are
Yeah,
consequences of having
exactly. Like
dreams.
her dreams,
How can you say that?
the consequences towards achieving a dream. That's not
Oh my
finding a man, and
God.
that just felt it's really like it really just felt like some kind of way. And so I've heard it a lot of the time. So I didn't even want to talk about red pill, because whenever I think of it, I'm
Yeah,
like,
let's not go into that. It doesn't
let's
matter.
not go into this. So I just want to go to the topic of today's conversation. Um, I was watching this podcast. A lady, I think a Nigerian British lady, was interviewing another popular Nigerian British podcaster in the UK, and she was asking her about finding men and how has the dating scene been in the UK. And then she said that she thinks the problem is that the way black men, so I'm talking about black men in general, African, Jamaican, like the way black men are viewed in the Western world and the way black women are viewed in the Western world are very different. So that's causing the clash where the women are saying they're not enough eligible black men. And
Sorry, Adewale, let me read this. Robert says, we can disagree with Dipo, but the problem of high achieving women not finding husbands still remains. Low achieving women are finding husbands. Robert.
No, up to 3 years ago, and Sister B, up to 3 years ago, I thought that was just a woman problem. The men are all over the place, too single at 40 and 45. What are we talking about?
So low achieving women, so I shouldn't
This
achieve. If
problem
I
is
don't
a
see husband, at least I
society
can achieve and
problem.
live my best life.
It's not a one-sided problem. It's on both
it's not.
sides.
It's
No,
on
when
both
people
sides. It's
like
not.
Robert say things like this, they make it seem like an insult. That's why you are
They
not
they make
married.
they make their
That's why you
arguments
can't
very
find my
absolute.
husband.
Like they make like the way they talk is like they know and they're absolutely sure that they're right. That's another thing I don't like about the red people community.
Adewale,
So
Jennifer said I should
I don't
ask you, would you prefer a woman who earns more than you? Can you deal with a woman that earns more than you?
I don't even like the word deal. Like she's a human being to begin with.
Yes.
If we're compatible, then that's fine. The money wouldn't be an issue. If I'm respectable, like if I respect her and she respects me, that's like we'll build on that foundation. Like what's with this? Oh, she makes more money than me, so I have to deal with that. What kind of
Sorry,
language is
sorry,
that?
oh brother Wally. Sorry, brother Wally. The problem is a man who is making less than his wife. That problem can happen before or after marriage. You don't solve that problem by telling people to not marry somebody who
Exactly,
is
What if
exactly.
he
is
was
stupid.
what if he had a 6-figure job or income and he lost the job?
The only way
During
to
the
address
marriage.
that problem is address insecurity.
That
That's
that
it.
is the only, sorry if I may come in, that is the only way, because salaries change, people progress in life. One person can start on, a six-figure salary, and then later on they take over the other person, they end up earning much much more. It can change, it is never constant, and that is one thing that people need to be able to deal with, that change
And
can
why is it
come
that
at
men
any
have a
time.
problem when men are rich and they earn good money? They are arrogant, and they come across as very, very, opinionated, and they lord it over you. But if it's a woman, you have to tone it down and hide. Like somebody was telling
Yes.
the kitchen connoisseur that don't drive your car to that date to enter bus.
Yeah, he said, don't drive your big car. She said, don't drive your big car. She even said to me, okay, if you won't get a bus, why don't you get that other person's smaller car and just go with it, so that you'll be okay, you'll
You
be
know how
comfortable.
Chimamanda put it? Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, the Nigerian writer, she put it in a very in a language that I love, because I follow her, I love her books. She said,
Same
a
here.
man that will be intimidated by my success, that will feel threatened by who I am as a woman, is the very kind of man that I don't want. I don't want him. If you feel intimidated by my intelligence, my success, my achievement, you are the very kind of person that I don't want. And guess what? She's a high achieving woman, celebrated worldwide, you know, and she's married, happily
I,
married.
I think that toning down thing comes from like a perspective where marriage is seen as force and control. The woman has to do whatever the man says, and she doesn't need to have an opinion. She just needs to be there and subservient. So a woman that makes more money would naturally stand for a right. And there are a lot of men in this day and age are not still. They don't agree with that mindset. They still believe that women just have to be submissive no matter what. So do what I say, do what I tell you to do, and don't say anything. Don't have an opinion. Don't say anything. And I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that, because it's going to make me feel like a dictator. That's how it's going to make me feel. I think that's another problem we have in Africa, where our leaders are dictators. They do whatever they want, and we, the followers,
You
the
can't question
citizens, we
them.
can't we
Hmm.
can't question them. We can't question their leadership. It's not surprising, because in our homes, because like the family, we did this in social studies. The smallest unit of the society is the family. So if the family is that way, there's that dictatorship in the family. In the bigger stage
Yeah.
in a leadership, it's gonna be that same way. So I don't get it. It's like, if she makes more money than me, so what? I mean, we're building the family here. We're not. I'm not. How do I say? I'm not trying to command someone or tell. She's a human being. She has a mind of her own. She's gonna have opinions. Am I gonna
Thank you,
say,
everybody.
don't voice out your opinions? Just do what I tell you to do.
No, don't be
Be
opinionated.
agreeable.
Tone it down when
I
you
don't
get
get
home.
that. Don't what?
Hmm.
Like, she's not gonna be herself then. She's just pretending to be who she
And
isn't.
then you will eat breakfast, and then you complain. You come back and
Exactly.
complain.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, whenever I see those red pill guys, usually most of them, they've been through some kind of heartbreak or some kind of thing, and then they kind of gather the men who have had
Ah,
this
in the same old
similar
circle.
situation. Exactly. So they're all it's like they're all in the same group. So misery loves company. So they're all in their own
So,
group.
so
There's
brother
actually
Wale,
also there's,
let's
there's
be
also a
let's
female,
be
female
honest.
version of that. So I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
We
So
talked about it before here, right?
there's also a female version of that. So they're always attacking each other. And it's all over
Yeah.
YouTube. I don't want to go into that.
Sister Bridget,
Yeah, it's a
can I be honest with you, Sister Bridget?
Yes, my dear.
This conversation about red pill is not going to stop today.
Yeah.
We still
it's
need to
not
open
it's
Let's.
it
not
I mean, that's not
because
what this gist is all about,
no, no, I
anyway.
it's
agree,
not
I
it's not what
agree.
it's about.
But here's the thing, right? This when you say are men intimidated, is one of the major topic points of that community. So
Yep.
for the people who actually want solution, we have to revisit it at the right time. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying?
All
Because
right.
majority of men, these men of nowadays, are following that big movement.
I see.
It's the reality. It's truly how they feel, and we must address it.
Okay.
Do
Thank
you
you
understand
so
what I'm
much,
saying?
Ola. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah,
have
but
another
sorry,
conversation
can I?
about this. Thank you so much,
Sorry.
Ola and Adewale. Because of time, I gotta move on. I appreciate you
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Kitchen
Thank
connoisseur,
you
you were
so
gonna say
much.
something before I move on to I
Yes, I
still have
was
a few
going to
people.
say I agree with the guys about the red pill movement, but I think even before the red pill movement, we had this problem in our society where women were always supposed to be subservient. So the red pill might have just accentuated a problem that was already there.
That's
I
their
think
problem.
that
Let them
problem is
continue to
endemic
red
in our
pill.
society. But
Women,
anyway,
please know that
yeah,
there are
thank,
red pill men and women out there.
yes. Thank you so much, Sis
Thank
B.
you,
I think
sis. I
there's a lot
appreciate
more to
you.
contribute, but thank you. Take care.
Thank you very much. Kitchen connoisseur, Adewale, appreciate you. Ola, we need to talk more about this. All right. Thank you.
Privately, so we can set up proper things around it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
set up something. Yeah,
yeah.
thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. If not for brothers like you, therefore finish us. Ah, Nilen Woro. Ah, Tia, Nilen Woro. Bio, your camera is on, no? You want us to see you the way you are relaxing now. You want to show you say you are looking for rich woman.
This is Bio. Is this your
Bio.
girlfriend? Hello, auntie. Nice
We are
to
seeing
meet
auntie in the
you.
background, though. What are we seeing in the background?
Look at, we can't hear you,
We
Bio.
can't hear you, Bio. Unmute yourself. It's like you're having a good time. No wonder you couldn't join us since. Unmute yourself, Bio.
Yeah, mute yourself. We can't hear you.
We know they hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry. You hear me now?
I hear you. Where you did?
Sorry,
In
my
the group.
Bodo family are hell now.
In the group.
I say my con jollificate small for our African restaurant here.
Your enjoyment not be here, PJ.
I
You like enjoyment?
dey talk about my girlfriend. Then she dey look my this thing. I say, listen, any woman without economic value, I don't want to. In fact, abroad too hard now. For this abroad, only man go dey carry all the load. Everything na economic value now. So woman not fit carry all the load, man not fit carry all the load. You go help woman cook. You go help woman wash plates. Woman go carry pikin. You go change pampers. This place now abroad now. Everything where they here, more they do it together. You know, if God can't do am, say now you have the best job or something else, that's okay. But you don't put,
childcare. If she gets more, if she get more, she dey spend more time for what you go do childcare when I born pikin. You go
yeah,
change
so
pampers.
if the money they take, they see the help, now she they waiting there. Now you tell them who shall be man, which can I go? Drop your ego there, forget that thing. Now me go even put up a video, say, hey, my wife go work, oh, I they do charge money today. Maybe you go now. If you not be mind your picking, what you want to? Auntie B,
God.
I said all those mentality must change. Let's face reality. At the end of the day, now this one they call some. Somebody go Nigeria, go to say carry one village girl come. At the end of the day, can't know how far I can't leave them. They'll come say, because you start from back. Why not start from front? Let everything where they made it clear. You understand what I'm saying? You know, I know first of all, to be honest, money change people, we agree. Nobody doubt that. But what we are saying here is that when you are scared of something, then you cannot face it. I forget my comment there. Not like I'm looking for maybe no. I'm looking for a rich girl. No, but if it comes by chance, let it come. I not run. You know,
So
understand?
you are not intimidated by a rich woman.
Which, me? Hey, I'm not intimidated. To, in fact, the richer the better. You know.
Oh my God!
You don't forget that if they say better to cry for inside limousine than to cry for inside 504.
As if broke people know they divorce every day. Broke people now the divorce they hash pass. You don't get anything to take away with. Now only poverty. Now you share.
Thank you. If Prince Woman they tell me for her, say, hey, you did this to me. Next weekend they come back and say, let's go to Paris for holiday. Come they pet me. You know better than say the one when I they feed, join everything, because they shot for my head. You know, if one naira come, no economic value. I beg, I rather cry for inside limousine. So the point here is that, my brother, on the more serious note, I understand your point. You've seen a lot of cases and causes, but I want to tell you something. You see, I've learned one thing about life, that it's so easy for people to look for an excuse that is so glaring to paste it on that when they are facing a problem. Let's say, for instance, Auntie B, if you have a friend that he knows that you are doing well more than her and something is happening, the next thing is easier for her to say, no man now, she doesn't make her now, she doesn't do like this. So this is why when a man is married to a rich woman, there is problem in your marriage. Rather than you looking at the problem, you will look for a good excuse that will make people join you. You say, when you not get money that time, now you don't get money, but there's actually a problem. You know, regardless of the money, there's actually a problem. Deal with it. Because if you don't deal with the problem, you are not looking for an excuse to peg it there. You don't call the hand past me. No, deal with the problem, please. 99% of the time, they are just looking for an excuse to hide under and therefore just blame me. Okay, woman call a misbehave when not gonna get money. What you call concern? What you call concern? When they not see excuse, the next thing they'll say, na person they control. Yes, always people generate excuse for everything rather than dealing with the problem. So that is why I said in my heart that, and it's not about any. You can earn billions and still be a selfish person. You can earn little and still be generous. You know, when I use the word economic value, doesn't really mean it's only about money. A woman can have economic value because me and you get home. I've learned that women are better off in building a home more than men. I'm telling you, I lived most of my life. I've lived by myself. You know everything now. But I noticed that when I started dating a girl that can build, for instance, now small thing I tell no. Me when we say na kitchen, I always they stay. It came to a point I was not like see the way I arrange everything well, yeah. You know what I mean? That is a woman controlling. Because I be man, I say no, all the sort must stay this corner. See. Go be a provider. Let the woman build. Even if the woman is the one not even bringing the money, let her build. Let her build it. Even tell it to your friends. Say, I don't see most successful men, even in Nigeria, not in abroad. If you talk to them, the way they talk, you will understand. They say, me, I don't know anything again. Now my wife found the deal. You know, and these are very wealthy men. They say that my wife found the deal. I don't know anything again. Even this one, I don't know from my house. Only there, this social thing there. I won't do this thing. It doesn't mean you are a weak man. It doesn't mean you are a weak man. Once a man starts saying that he's looking for the one that will be humble, will be this, now ask girl they look for. Now ask girl, now they look for. That's just the bitter truth. He's looking for an ask girl. That is it. So, yes, you want to say something? Let me let you be, you know.
And what I want to say, he plenty, my dear brother Bio. But I get what you mean. Thank you very much for leaving your dinner. Go meet your dates. Make una they jollificate they go. But I get you. I know say you they follow us for the background. They see your comment and they laugh for you. Thank you for bringing in the humor to make us laugh because the atmosphere we don't think well.
Yes.
You know, what trouble me about waiting that our brother talk. He say many things, and I agree with some things where he talk. Say if you the boss for office, when you come house, tone it down because your husband is supposed to be your head, not your head, right? And that's for Christian. You know me saying every man be your head, though, only your husband. But what he can't talk, he say, he go tell his daughter, say, as you think of achieving so, be aware that there are consequences.
Right.
That one trouble me. He can't still talk saying they advise men, may they not marry woman where they end past them if the gap too wide. Say the woman not go respect them.
I don't know.
But we don't see many women where they respect men now because, you know, what to make me sad for the whole thing, we say everything about relationship or marriage, it can't be saying only about money. Who is earning more? And
very
respect, by the way, no me say you get money. You feel get money, they don't respect you on top of your money.
Yeah, so on top of your money,
they don't respect you on top of your money.
Even when a broadcast they disrespect yourself, you go clear for your eye. Not be joke. You go even clear where. So that one not mean whether the woman get money, not get money, or whatever. The most important thing, do your own. And two, if you're a boss in the corporate environment, you go understand one thing. Say even good boss or good bosses, they leave responsibility for their juniors to take over. You know that makes you a good boss. You assign delegate more duties to those under you. So when I say as a man, allow woman to control, but some people go to say, hey, which kind of weak man this? No, because it's even better. May your wife they run things. When you go run things, finish it. One of this, like I say, hey, on in a wow, see the way you run that thing just now. You never consider me small. Now you can't laugh, say, okay, what do you be think? Let me say you won't confront. They do big. All this man thing. Will they talk? Say, mama. I say it here, not because of women trying to favor women. Women have their own for body, man get their own for body. But let us think about this. Women, who not go, no, no. You must give them that love, give them that opportunity, let them be in charge, let them feel in control, let them actually be in control. It's their home. Let them build it the way they want. Even give them more responsibility by telling them, say, this marriage, if you fail, now you hand the deal. Now you they run now. If this one, now you hand the deal. They prefer it. They will be more conscious. Not be made with the do brick. We all of us not brick now. You know, understand? At that time, I get yesterday, they watch me, they decided they watch me. If you like, they watch me through this thing. I say, woman without economic value.
You don't want.
On the money say his salary now third of man, no shaking. I still like that. Thank you, Auntie B. You are too much. You are carried.
Thank you, Bio. I appreciate you, my brother. Enjoy your dinner date, though. Greet our wife for us, so we'll go see her very soon. We'll go meet her very soon. I appreciate you, my brother. God bless you. It is well. May God help us. We know in parts and we understand in parts, okay?